welcome all of you to Penn Law School and this really wonderful roundtable we're holding today on visual legal advocacy. I'm Mike Fitz, I'm the dean at Penn Law School, and I have to say, when I went to law school, half a century ago, what it entailed for the most part was literally just reading cases and observing the meaning of different statutory and judicial opinions. Clearly, with this conference, we are starting a whole new way of thinking about legal education as well as legal advocacy. I have to confess, this is something that has been critically important to the practice of law for some time, but also clearly here at Penn Law School, we're really now in the process of integrating this as part of our curriculum and part of our scholarly efforts here at the institution. When we're making arguments through visual advocacy, documentaries, and the like, obviously there are a whole new series of questions and problems that arise, and new skills that are necessary. And that's part of the purpose of this roundtable, to try and confront those questions and discuss them from a whole variety of different perspectives. I really want to thank Professor Regina Austin, who is the director of the program on documentaries of the law here at Penn Law School. She has been pressing this for some time through her own scholarship and her own teaching, and has really been instrumental in drawing connections here at Penn Law School and elsewhere in the university, and of course critically with both the practicing bar and the visual arts community, because ultimately that's going to be central to any effort we do in this area. I want to welcome, of course, all the members of the bar and the local community. One of the things we do here at Penn Law School is, in a sense, integrate our academic program with the practicing bar and to try and understand what we're doing in terms of what is going on out there. It's part of Penn's really mantra of connecting theory and practice. So you are a critical, central part of what we do here, and I'd like to welcome you all and members of the panelists. Also, I'd like to thank Ed Rock, Associate Dean here at Penn Law School, who has really worked also very hard in putting all of this together. But at this moment, I should turn the podium over to the impresario of this entire event, who's really been the force behind it all, Professor Regina Austin.
Sure, what can I say? Thank you all for being here. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate your attending the law school's first visual legal advocacy roundtable. First of all, what is visual legal advocacy? Well, it's something that I made up. No, it's advocacy and argumentation undertaken by lawyers to advance the interests of their clients and their causes, which uses visual media, primarily digital video technology. Visual legal advocacy is most often used in informal adjudicatory settings, arbitrations and mediations, in quasi-judicial settings, clemency and pardon proceedings, zoning and other administrative hearings, or in situations where successful representation of a client may require appeals for public support. There are a number of converging forces that make this an opportune time to consider visual legal advocacy and its implications for public interest or social justice clients and causes. These forces include the declining cost of digital video technology, increasing proficiency in the use of digital video technology, especially among law students, the public's newfound interest in and receptivity for film slices of reality, or real people's stories, the proliferation of interest by the legal profession in the persuasive power of storytelling, an increased reliance on informal modes of dispute resolution, the greater efficiency of digital media for conveying vast amounts of information, lawyers' recognition of the role the public plays in supporting social justice or public interest campaigns and litigation, the capacity of digital technology to allow clients to speak for themselves, and finally, the democratizing impact of new media, as exemplified by YouTube and Google Video, in broadly disseminating advocacy films. Now, given these forces, there are a few key areas regarding visual legal advocacy that we should consider today, such as the potential for using visual legal advocacy in public interest or social justice cases. And I should tell you that as a torts lawyer, I think that personal injury cases are social justice cases. The economics of visual legal advocacy and strategies for making it available to clients who are unable to pay the costs. The obstacles to securing access to film and record in institutions that control the lives of public interest or social justice clients, such as schools, prisons, and hospitals. The ethical obligations of the visual legal advocate. The use of new media to disseminate visual information regarding public interest cases and causes. And finally, the role of law schools and other branches of universities in teaching and promoting visual legal advocacy in regard to public interest and social justice cases and causes. Now, these are not just hypothetical questions insofar as Penn Law School is concerned. In 2005, we started the Penn program on documentaries and the law, which acts as an umbrella for our efforts to train our students to engage in visual legal advocacy, as well as to support the efforts of the legal profession to grapple with the impact of the digital revolution and the potential that it presents for the practice of law. Long before 2005, our media librarian, Merle Slyhoff, I don't know whether Merle's here, Merle, raise your hand, began building an extensive collection of law genre documentaries. A link to the video catalog of Biddle can be found on the Docs program webpage. It really helps to have access to documentaries that deal with a particular law-related issue when you are undertaking the production of filmed advocacy on behalf of an actual client. We have begun to collect clemency and pardon videos and documentaries made on behalf of capital defendants and lifers. We have a few settlement documentaries and a few visual victim impact statements as well. And we hope to be able to stream some of these films and to make them available to lawyers seeking examples of visual legal advocacy to emulate. In terms of the curriculum, the students in the documentaries and the law course have learned to write nonfiction, law-related film treatments, while students in the visual legal advocacy seminar have actually produced a clemency video on behalf of a person with a criminal record who is seeking a pardon so that she can pursue a career in education. The students in that course have also explored the possibility of doing visual victim impact statements. Moreover, they have researched the possibility of challenging the regulations of the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections, which make it impossible for us to interview on camera incarcerated persons who have been confined for decades after being sentenced to life without possibility of parole for offenses they committed as juveniles. Finally, the law school has received a $60,000 grant from the university to establish a visual media lab, which gives our students access to cameras, lights, mics, audio recorders, and Macs for editing. They have the equipment with which to assist you in developing new forms of visual legal advocacy. And for those Penn Law students who are present here, I urge them to contact Neil Switcher, who's here somewhere, who is in charge of our visual media lab, and will help them to get a hold of the equipment that they can use in doing visual legal advocacy. I forgot about my PowerPoints, but PowerPoints will be made available to you. We are looking for your collective help in determining the future direction of the Penn program on documentaries and the law, and visual legal advocacy in general. This is a working roundtable. In this room we have private lawyers and public interest lawyers and filmmakers and professors of law, sociology, cinema studies, graduate education. We have present and future grad students from law, anthropology, and graduate education. We have undergraduates, we have media activists, and we have miscellaneous interested folks who are interested in more than cheap CLE. We recognize that you collectively represent an amazing resource for new ideas and suggestions regarding visual legal advocacy, and we hope to hear from you today. If you should happen to come up with an idea later, or do not have an opportunity to share your ideas today, please feel free to contact me. I'm Professor Regina Austin. I'm the director of the Penn program on documentaries in the law. My telephone number is 215-898-5185, or you can reach me via email. If you have a proposed project for us, feel free to call me as well. So that's my introduction. As I said, the PowerPoints will be made available on our links page for the roundtable. We tried to keep the amount of paper down to a minimum. After all, this is all about digital technology.